Good evening. The time is 7:30, and I will call the public hearing and regular business meeting of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, August 10th, 2020 to order. We'll start with our invocation by City Attorney Tony Powell. And now we'll do the pledge to the flag led by Solange Destang. And I did want to announce, for those of you who may be watching this video later, things are a little different here tonight because we don't have any AC here in City Hall, so it's a little warm. We have a fan blowing in the back, so you might be hearing a little bit of a hum on the sound, and that's why we'll all try to speak up clearly in our microphones here tonight. We have no ceremonial matters, so we'll go to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the July 27th meeting as well as the two August 3rd, 2020 specially called public hearings.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Dave Emanuel. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have no invited guests. A committee and department report for the Snellville Youth Commission, Chanel Stevens. Our new director of the Snellville Youth Commission. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Chanel Stevens. I just took over for the Snellville Youth Commission. Friday, we had our first meeting. We had a very small turnout, thanks to, I'm going to say in part, the pandemic and the weather and just getting back into the swing of things. So we spoke with the student in attendance and some of the members of the youth committee, the youth commission, in order to find a new plan of going forward. A big thing that I want to focus on this year with the youth commission would be like their mental health during this pandemic, because a lot of the schools are closed and they're not used to this situation. So everything being new, I want to give them like an outlet for that, since they're not able to get to school and see their friends and do the things that they're used to at this time. So I just really want to take the focus of the youth commission into giving them just a positive outlook during this time, with everything just being so bleak for them at the current moment. I'm sorry, do you have any other questions? I don't know what else to say.
Any other questions for Ms. Stevens? Nope.
I'd like to just take a moment and welcome Chanel. We're very excited about what she will be contributing to our city and our youth commission. And as a veteran of the U.S. Navy, she offers us an incredible organizational skill set as well as the discipline and leadership that will take SYC to the next level.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming and doing this for the Snellville Youth Commission.
I look
Appreciate your
forward
service.
to it. I really want to make a difference with the children and help them like just better themselves and find different ways of expressing themselves in different outlets and just different ways of handling things, and just give them a positive focus in their lives while they transition into adulthood.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we'll have the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda with the following additions. Under the consent agenda, want to amend it to add Secretary of State consent order for SEB case 2015-089. Under new business, we want to add item C, approval of the Fifth Amendment to the agreement for the town center development.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the agenda with 2 amendments. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have nothing under our public hearing, and we have 2 items under our consent agenda. Item A, approval of the construction manager at risk agreement between the Downtown Development Authority and Winter Construction. And item B, consent order for Secretary of State SCB case 2015-089. That being on the consent agenda, if there's no objection, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have no old business. Under new business, we have consideration and action on surplus of police vehicles. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the surplus of vehicles and equipment as indicated in our agenda packet.
There's a motion to approve the surplus of police vehicles. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Next, we have item B, mayor's nomination and council confirmation of the Youth Commission Advisory Board members, listed as follows: Chanel Stevens, Chris O'Donohue, Lisa Porter, Angelia Mada, Natalie Brown-Van, and Charlene Fletcher. Those are my nominations. All in favor of confirming, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. And now we have item C, Fifth Amendment of the Master Development Agreement. This is our agreement that we have on the design phase of the market, of the entire development. And we just need a little bit more time, so we're extending this agreement to September 25th, 2020. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the Fifth Amendment to the motion to extend the Fifth Amendment to the Master Development Agreement to September 25th, 2020.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. I think we need to have our air conditioning out more often. It's everybody's moving through this quite quickly. Now we'll go on to council reports. Solange?
No council report tonight.
Councilmember Warner?
I'll make it brief. Tomorrow is the runoff election here in the county of Gwinnett, And in the 3rd district for county commission, on both the Democrat side and the Republican side, there is a runoff. So regardless of where you lie, you need to get out and decide who our leadership is going to be at the county level. We also have a runoff in a Superior Court between Kathy Schrader and Deborah Fluker. So please get out, make a difference in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Christy Linsky?
Okay, just once again wanted to welcome Chanel Stevens to the city of Snellville.
And Gretchen Schultz.
I will do this quickly, but I brought some photos. I know all of you don't always have the opportunity to get to the farmer's market, and I just wanted you to see how great it's been looking. We were real concerned this year about how COVID would affect the market and how our customer turnout would be. The market has been great, and we've had a lot of vendors that are telling it's their best year ever. And you can just see from these photos how hard our vendors work at making everything attractive for their customers. We've had great cooperation with our vendors with all of our COVID recommendations. They're all wearing masks. They all have hand sanitizer. Customers aren't allowed to touch their products, and customers are not touching products. We estimate that almost 100% of customers come to the market wearing a mask. Every now and then you see someone come in without one, but we have had such cooperation. We've just been really pleased. People space themselves out in line while they're waiting at the vendor booths. And I did also want to say that we've now told our vendors that we will do an extended season again this year, because that it's a big help, especially to our produce vendors, because they need a venue for their produce as well as meats and eggs. We'll do it again on the first Saturday of each month, October through May. And then we've decided, after talking to our produce vendors, we're going to do a very small market on the 3rd Saturday of, I'm really not wondering why I'm doing this sometimes, but getting involved in the off season like this, but we're going to do agricultural products only on the 3rd Saturday. That'll be produce, meats, eggs, honey, that type of thing. So farmers market has become pretty much a year-round thing in Snellville now. Thank you.
And Mayor Pro Tem Emanuel.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I just saw somebody is selling chicken feet at the farmer's market.
Those are dog treats.
How could you pass up chicken feet? That's going to be it for me. It's warm. We want to leave. Goodbye.
And I would just like to, again, remind everybody, if you'll go to the Facebook page for Join the Team. Gwinnett County has all the city mayors, the county commission, and a lot of other leaders in the county have joined together to do a promotion in connection with the Gwinnett Newton Rockdale Public Health Department to help encourage people to do the right things. Social distance, wear a mask if you can't social distance, and make sure you're washing your hands. So I think if everybody's doing that, Gwinnett's numbers were looking a little bit better last week, as far as not such a big increase. So I think if everybody can do their part, we can stop the spread of this virus until we get a vaccine. And with that, I will close my mayor's report, and I will open the floor to public comment. If anyone would like to make a comment, please come forward. State your name and address for the record.
I'm Trisha Rollins, 2088 Harbor Oaks Drive. We were here. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
And go ahead and make sure you're speaking loud, just so that everybody can hear you over the fan in the back.
We were here a little over a year ago with a complaint of Snellville Pavilion and the trucks in the back and slamming and making noise, okay? A year later, I can say that we have had some change in the back, but we continue to have problems. I get out there and document because we continue to have the problem, and the problem continues to be the police department. I spoke with Tony about this a year ago at my house, and I told him, this is the problem, but when I call, there is no response. They go out there and sit. 3 weeks ago, we had Texas Roadhouse had a truck at the dock, and Joe Williams has wrote a letter to the city police department about sitting there behind Texas Roadhouse running the motor behind his house. He's since moved, and his renters are living there now. But about 3 weeks ago, I called the dispatch, and I asked them to address the problem. Well, the problem was not addressed. The dispatch says, well, we're waiting on word to see if we're supposed to respond to those. Has there been a change in the ordinance? I spoke with my neighborhood this morning. I said, does anybody know of a change in the ordinance? I said, do you want me to go ahead and represent the neighborhood tonight, letting them know that we're still having problems? And I asked them to write letters to you to let you know that it's not just me. I've got a map that shows you that my house is the closest. It's about to the back door over here, okay? The rest of them get a little bit further apart. The Edwards, and I assume they have written you a letter. The Edwards are on the top side, Cole's side, and they are closer. They would have been here tonight, but she's had a kidney transplant, and he has a heart valve. And they said they just can't be here. They said, if you need us, Trisha, we'll be there. I said, no, I don't want you close to this. So they were going to write a letter. Okay. The problems continue, okay? It's progressed that now they're targeting me for complaining. And I don't say that lightly because I've got the proof. I've got the pictures. When a police officer pulls me over in the parking lot, when Tony Powell said, Trisha, let us know if the problem continues. Okay, how do I let you know that it continues unless I get out there and take pictures? I'm taking picture of the street cleaner out there cleaning the street. I call the police department, tell them there's a problem. They need the address. There's a commercial truck on the property. The ordinance says no commercial on the property, okay? They come out there and sit in front of the truck. Well, I take the video of the trash truck. An officer comes behind me and pulls me over and wants to ticket me for being in a double handicap parking space. I tell him I was not in a double handicap parking space. I've got the picture. You look out and there's the emblem right there, okay? He says, my supervisor said I could not write you a letter at 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night for being up here. But he says, this shopping center is closed and I will write you a ticket for loitering if you stay here. I got my pictures, I left. I don't want to cause any problems. I just want the proof that the problem continues. I go to Cookout and get a drink and sit there, and the officers leave and go to Quick Trip over there. They leave Quick Trip and they see me sitting at the corner, and they get on their horns and say, bad boys, what you gonna do when they come for you? Okay, I said, how immature, but that's the way you wanna be. Okay, 2 weeks later, I'm at my godparents' house and watering the plants. I go to Big Lot to get toilet paper. My ticket says 9:45 at Cookout where I got a drink. Big Lots, I was there about 5 till 10, and I could tell they were closing. So I go to leave, and there's a police officer there. I throw my hand up and wave, go around to my subdivision. He follows me around. He comes over there and he says, Miss Rollins, I saw you come from behind the building. I'm gonna write you a ticket for loitering. Okay? I got cameras in my car, and I asked him, I said, do you know that there's cameras behind the shopping center? Because Tony Powell had told me at my house that there were cameras behind there now. Okay? Officer said, yeah, I know that. So he continued and wrote me a ticket for loitering. Okay? I've got proof. The shopping center should have proof. Why is he trying to write me a ticket at 10:15 at night when the original papers for that shopping center, hours of operation is 11 o'clock? I suggest he's targeting me. Okay? I've had 2 tickets in 20 years, 25 years for speeding. And I was slowed down. You don't find me speeding. I've been pulled over 6 times in the last year. Those 2 false probable causes at the shopping center and 4 brakes lights. When I asked the officer which light was out, oh, it's working now. How does a light come on? Okay. The 4th light was out. I brought my mother's car from Alabama here. I had it inspected in Alabama. The brake lights, the brakes, the engine, everything was inspected on this car. And I have the paper where it was inspected. I come over here, I buy some boxes, gates for my house inside for my pets. The boxes vibrated the light in the top brake light, not these that you would think were necessary. That top light vibrated out, okay? Not a warning, Ms. Rollins, you got a brake light out. I just had it inspected. Don't know why it went out. $11 bulb the next morning, okay? September 9th, I will go and pay $116. How many of you have checked your brake lights every time you get in your car? My neighbors now watch my car to make sure that my brake lights are working. It's ridiculous what's happening. I showed the police, I showed Butch Sanders, told him and the chief in a meeting that I was sent information that was unbecoming of an officer, okay? The chief, what does he do? Sends a letter, from what I understand, out to all the officers saying I'm trying to get out of tickets and that I had accused them of having sex in a church. Never did it. I received information on one person and nobody wants to address it. I can't address it. This girl that sent me the information was told that this person was married, no, not married.
Ms. Rollins, I'm going to stop you right there on this one.
Okay.
I agree with everything else that you've said, and we
Okay.
will take into that. But there is still no named officer, and there's
She is
no,
ready to come forward,
well, then she needs to come and meet with the chief or
but
Butch
she's not meeting with the
Sanders.
chief. He sat there and called me a liar in the office.
Then she may come and meet with Butch Sanders. But until we have somebody
I can't
that,
trust Bush to speak with her.
then we'll figure something out for you on that.
You get me a
But I don't want to,
judge,
when we
and I
hear
didn't wanna come
somebody.
there. I didn't want to go there, but
When we
the
have,
letter,
Ms. Rollins, when we have somebody that's willing to come forward, then we will take
What
that
day?
into account.
what day?
At-
I've got her on recording, and she will meet with you. Let me know when you've got a
Let
judge.
me figure out who that needs to be,
Okay.
and then we will get back
That's
with
all I
you.
ask, is somebody
Okay.
address this.
Okay, you may go on.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off completely. I
What?
just didn't want to go on
I
that
understand,
topic until.
and I don't want to bring it up. I love my city, but for the chief to put a target on me because I brought something before Butch and him in the office, it's targeting me. It's putting a threat on my life. I've had soapy glue put on my windshield wipers. I've had my side mirror has been broken up at Publix. I called Publix, they asked for a video. They don't have it. But they dropped their key in my yard. And I'll find out who that key belongs to. But things are happening in this city that y'all don't hear and y'all don't see, and it needs to be addressed. I sent an email to Butch, to you, and Tony about 3 weeks ago. I'm done putting up with it. Have not heard a word from any of y'all.
Well, after that email, several council members have instructed the city attorney that we will be working again with the property owner to put more pressure on the condition of zoning side of
Well, you
things.
need to communicate with us. We're the one that's suffering out here. 455 the other morning, we've stopped the trucks in the back of the shopping center. This truck's now coming in the front. Who accepted that merchandise? Lieutenant Pendleton goes out there and tells
Right.
him to move on.
But we'll take care of that from the legal side of things, not the police side of things.
Well, you need to let us know, because what I'm seeing is there's no addressment of the issues. The dispatch told me they were told not to respond to Texas Roadhouse, okay? Lieutenant Pendleton goes out and sits there, doesn't address them. After I've called the police department, I've done my part, okay? And I told Tony all along, the problem was, and it has not been followed through. I don't know what else to do. I'm fed up with it. My neighbor, I'm the closest one. I can show you the map that I'm the closest person, and it's not just the trash trunk going through and picking up trash. I've got him on video playing loud music and going through and getting trash. What does he do with that trash? He goes up to the top of Kohl's, he comes around to the back, lifts the dumpster, bam, 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 and throws the trash in there. It's not just, let's just let him do this one thing.
Right, no, and we're gonna address it from the property owner side and the store manager side of things.
People need to start talking and
Yes.
communicating, because we're getting frustrated out there. The Edwards have brought a mountain home, and they go out there to get away from it. I've had 3 neighbors move out because they couldn't stand the noise. I've got one he's tired of he moved into Snellville to open up a coffee house at the town center. And he's tired of waiting. So he's moving out. He's put up for sale. We're losing good people here in Snellville, okay, because there are problems, and nobody wants to address the problems. All they want to do is target Trisha Rollins for driving around protecting her neighborhood, okay? We should have never had 46 break-ins in my neighborhood before somebody stood up and said something. I don't like drama. I've waited 19 to 20 years of banging garbage cans in my back door.
I understand your frustration, and just know that we are taking it back to the property owner again.
Well, I hope so, and I hope you communicate with us, because I, for one, am sick of it. I spoke to my godparents last night, and I said, I can't take any more. And so we will do something depending on your actions. But you're losing good people out here. I don't like the drama. Don't want the drama. I'd like to go back to 10 years ago when we didn't lock doors. We didn't worry about crime. But it's on top of us. And the shopping center has been there since 1995. And thank goodness for Kurt Schultz stipulating the ordinance that protected the neighborhoods. We've counted on that, and there was supposed to be a berm in the back with a fence on top of it. I've got the papers from the original discussions. When they get to my property over there, it goes down. All the noise comes off of between Ashley Furniture and the beauty shop, comes right on top of me at night. I can hear the police officers out there talking. I've asked the chief to address that with the officers. He wrote me a letter or an email, said we have asked them not to sit there. You know when that letter was? Last year. You know the last time they sat there? Probably about 2 weeks ago. I get one every once in a while, we'll sit out there. And it's not just sitting there, is they launch after somebody. Woo! You ever heard a charger go every 10 or 15 minutes, woo, it comes straight off to me because that berm was never built. That 10-foot fence was never built. Now you got problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rollins. Anyone else? Seeing no one else, then I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, a second, all in favor? It is 6 in favor and none opposed. We're done. Thank you all for coming out.